That's right, it's official. A full losers bracket for the trainers who lost in the main bracket to try to make their way back to the top and challenge the eventual champion. We're going to make it through the first 2 rounds of the secondary bracket before we head back to the main bracket semifinals. Last time we saw a wicked battle between Silver, a newcomer to the tournament, and Morty, which was a truly offense versus defense showdown, and only one emerged the victor by quite slim margins too. Today we have a battle between 2 trainers who had very tough matchups for them in the main bracket. Falkner, the gym leader of Violet City, and Will, an Elite 4 member of the Indigo Plateau. Let's head to the team previews to see how this match stacks up. Falkner returns to the tournament with his hyper-offense flying team with a few defensive threats as well. He's really going to need to make use of his Lugia's Psychic-type bulk and his Honchkrow's Dark typing too. Will, on the other hand, returns with his quite balanced Psychic team that's quite bulky overall, with not a whole lot of speed, with the exception of Jinx and possibly Gardevoir and Xatu. He's going to have to find a way to manage Falkner's Lugia and really utilize his walls effectively. Our trainers are officially ready for their matchup, so everyone gear up, it's stadium time. Here we go, our first match in the secondary bracket. We've got an Elite 4 member versus a gym leader. Will versus Falkner. Will's going to start off the battle with his Bronzong. Bronzong, a very defensive threat from him, whereas Falkner's going to go in with Staraptor, and that is a very offensive threat. So an interesting dynamic to start the battle off here. Staraptor, of course, its Intimidate will lower Bronzong's attack, which might come into play here depending on what Bronzong is capable of doing, but Staraptor going for the U-turn right away. Now that is going to be a scary, scary prospect for Will. Of course, a couple of Falkner's Pokemon do have U-turn, and that is going to be super effective against most of Will's team here. And now the Crobat coming out, the Bronzong going for the Stealth Rock. So perhaps Falkner predicting that a little bit and realizing he could go for the Defog here against the Bronzong. We'll have to see. Bronzong getting a little bit of recovery here from his leftovers though, which I'm sure will be a little bit of a factor here throughout the battle. And now Will is actually going to withdraw the Bronzong, realizing he's kind of outmatched here going into the Slowbro, another defensive threat from him. But Crobat is going to go for the Defog, so a great play there from Falkner. Stealth Rocks are terrifying for his team. Will knows that, of course. He wants to get them out as soon as possible, but now we've got Crobat versus Slowbro. Crobat's going to switch out, actually. Falkner's going to send in the Honchkrow here. Honchkrow is a big, big threat for Will's team, and now the Psyshock. Oh, what a prediction there from Falkner. Making sure to send out a Dark type against a Psychic type move that was incoming, and now all of a sudden the Honchkrow is going for Night Slash, but the Slowbro looked to have a Colbur Berry, so it doesn't do that much damage, actually. Of course, Slowbro is a very, very physically defensive wall. Going for Scald now. That's dangerous on the Honchkrow. If that burns... No, it does not look like it did. If that burned, that would have been a dangerous position there for Falkner. Now, Scald is a big, big problem for his whole team, really, except perhaps the Lugia, the legendary Lugia coming out on the field from Falkner. Now, the Scald hitting the Lugia, and it will burn the Lugia. Now, that's actually not a great thing for Will, of course, because he'd ideally want to Toxic the Lugia instead of just burn it, because the Lugia does have leftovers. So, essentially, it just cancels out the leftovers, but doesn't get incremental damage. Here comes the Aeroblast on the Slowbro, doing a good chunk of damage there. But the Slowbro going for the Amnesia. Oh, what a good choice there from Will, because of course Slowbro is very physically defensive, but Amnesia will now raise its special defense as well. And that's going to make a big, big issue here for Lugia, of course, because Lugia attacks using special defense. Either way, it's not going to do much, but here comes the Aeroblast. Aeroblast is a powerful move, but no, the Slowbro now able to tank it and go for the Slack Off too. So it is going to get a lot of recovery here too, going well into the green there. Now Lugia is almost unable to do anything offensively against Slowbro. It could hope for the crit, because of course Aeroblast does have a higher critical hit ratio, but I don't think it's enough. So yes, Falkner is going to be forced to withdraw from his legendary Pokemon. Slowbro, unbelievable performance here, and the Swellow coming out. Slowbro now going for Scald, so that was actually a smart play from Falkner. Even though that did a lot of damage, of course, because the burn, oh, that was the Flame Orb. So, of course, Falkner realizing the Scald could possibly burn, but the burn isn't a problem on the Swellow. It does have the Flame Orb anyway that increases its attack, and here comes the U-turn, doing a good amount of damage and switching out the Swellow there. So a good play there from Falkner, but of course now he has to send out his Staraptor, and that's not a good Pokemon for a burn. It all depends what this Scald is going to do here. He had to take it on somebody, but we'll have to see if this is able to burn the Staraptor. That would be crucial. It does! Oh, no! Falkner getting a burn on his Staraptor. That is not a good situation. So now, all of a sudden, he's going to have to go for the Brave Bird. He's just trying to go for his most powerful attack here. Will it be enough on the Slowbro? No, the Slowbro actually survives it. And of course, Staraptor getting some recoil damage and life orb damage, and here comes the Scald to finish it off. That burn came in clutch there. That Slowbro would have been toast otherwise, but Slowbro pulling off a very, very good performance here, getting that burn on the Staraptor. Now the Swellow coming back out on the field. It will be able to outspeed, and here comes again that U-turn, as we said, going to be very, very important in this battle, because of course Swellow doesn't take any burn damage if it pivots like that. If it switches out, it does not take burn damage, so it's just getting free hits essentially. And now here comes the Honchkrow back out. A good choice there from Falkner, of course, super effective against almost Will's entire team. And here comes the Bronzong. Bronzong is a very, very defensive beast, though, we know that much, and Falkner's going to back down here. He does not want to lose Honchkrow so early, and into the Crobat he comes, maybe predicting the Stealth Rock, but no! The actual Gyro Ball is coming out. Oh, and doing way more than half damage on the Crobat even. That is a big, big threat. Falkner perhaps making a mistake here, predicting incorrectly the Stealth Rock. Perhaps Will realizing that Falkner might have thought the Stealth Rock was coming back, and here comes the Lugia now, and Bronzong going for the Gyro Ball. We'll have to see how much they can do on the Lugia. A decent chunk of damage, to be honest, especially given that it is a Lugia. But now the burn and the leftovers will come into play. Bronzong, of course, does have its own leftovers, so both teams will be getting a little bit of recovery, except for Lugia getting hurt by that burn afterwards. So Lugia going for the Aeroblast now. Falkner perhaps trying to test how much damage this will do, and almost nothing on that Bronzong. Bronzong absolutely eating the Aeroblast up, and now able to go for another Gyro Ball, and all of a sudden, whoa, a critical hit. All of a sudden, the Lugia is looking to be not in a great position, unable to deal with both the Slowbro and the Bronzong. Will using his walls very effectively here. We'll have to see how this plays out as the battle goes along, but the Lugia is at 70 HP. Quite low indeed, but it does have Recover. That is a crucial move there. Without Recover, ooh, that might have been the end of the Lugia right there. But now the Bronzong going for a Stealth Rock here. Perhaps predicting that, you know, Falkner would want to recover at that point, not wanting to sack his Lugia, or he would switch. So a good Stealth Rock play there. Now Falkner will have to keep that in the back of his mind. He does want to get rid of those Stealth Rocks, as always, because that is a terrifying threat for his team. But now Lugia taking a little bit more damage from that burn, of course. We're going to have to see. One of these trainers looks like they might have to switch out. The Bronzong is doing a little bit better here, but perhaps Falkner going with his Aeroblast, hoping for maybe a crit so he can shake things up a little bit. Aeroblast does have a higher critical hit ratio, of course. But now the Lugia again being taken down to about half health, as both teams get a little bit of leftovers recovery again. Surely somebody has to switch here. Let's find out who it is. Lugia going for the Aeroblast. It looks like no switch again. Falkner just really wants this crit. He wants to do some damage on that Bronzong while he can. He does, of course, have the Recover. So both players are kind of in a weird position here. The Lugia now going down to 62 HP, though. So here, Will knows Falkner is going to have to recover here. So perhaps we will see him make a move. Let's find out. Lugia getting hurt by that burn. It will stay at 62 HP. Let's see what happens. Yes, Will is going to withdraw here. Even though he might have been in a little bit of a better position, perhaps he has another plan going into the Gardevoir here. Now, the Gardevoir's Trace will... Oh! The Gardevoir's Trace will actually copy the multi-scale ability. So Will making an amazing switch there, realizing Falkner would switch out. And now, all of a sudden, he has a Gardevoir with multi-scale, which decreases the power of attacks when Gardevoir is at full health. And we know that Will's Gardevoir does have leftovers too, so it is capable of getting back there, certainly. But the Lugia going for the Aeroblast here. Let's see how much that does. Yeah, Gardevoir eating that up really well, and now able to go for the Calm Mind. Oh, this is getting dangerous here for Lugia. Calm Mind will raise Gardevoir's special attack and special defense. And of course, it does have multi-scale, so if it gets back to full health, oh man, Lugia is not going to be able to do anything against it whatsoever. But of course, there comes that leftovers, bringing Gardevoir closer and closer to that multi-scale. Trace actually pulling off some great plays throughout this tournament, really. Well, we're going to have to see. The Lugia is going for Calm Mind now, powering up on its own. This is going to be really, really interesting. Hey guys, Sylph from the future here. Just wanted to butt in a little bit. This was a massive stall fest. I'm sure nobody really wants to see that, so I'll explain basically what happened while it's sped up in the background. Both trainers here were trying to get their comm mines up as much as they possibly could, but what ended up happening was Will actually decided to go for the Psyshock, which Falkner perhaps didn't realize he had, and Psyshock, of course, uses Gardevoir's increased special attack, but hits Lugia with its physical defense, which was not powered up. So Gardevoir was actually able to start taking Lugia down here, but of course Lugia towards the end did have a couple Aeroblasts to go and was able to take him down, and that sets up this next play, so let's get into it. So Gardevoir going down. It'll be very interesting to see what Will decides to use here. The Gardevoir did a very good job of chipping Lugia down to the point where it could possibly be taken out here, and he's going to go with the Bronzong. The Bronzong coming back out. Now, Will probably realizing that this calm-minded Lugia is going to be a big threat, but it looks like it's going for the Psychic here. Oh, it might be out of Aeroblast power points. That's the problem that we mentioned earlier with Aeroblast, is that it has very low power points, so the Gyro Ball able to bring Lugia down to 26 HP. And of course, the leftovers in Burn will bring it right back down there, whereas Bronzong's getting a little bit of recovery here. So Falkner is all of a sudden, he's stuck. He can't switch out into something to take a Gyro Ball from Bronzong, of course. So now the Psychic is going to come in on the Bronzong, not doing much damage at all, especially given that that's a stab move. It is resisted, but of course Lugia has tons of Calm Mines, and all of a sudden, the Lugia taken down by the combination of the Bronzong and the Gardevoir. Will actually managing that Lugia quite well. It took a while, that is for sure, but he managed it quite well, and in comes the Honchkrow here. Honchkrow, of course, a terrifying threat, but the Stealth Rock is doing a lot on it, that is for sure. Gonna have to see how Will wants to deal with this. He is gonna stay in with the Bronzong. Here comes the Night Slash. Oh, and the Bronzong going down in one hit. That was a critical hit. The Honchkrow does have the Super Luck ability, so we could probably expect a critical hit at that point, and now Honchkrow is all of a sudden at 16 HP. But here comes the Jinx. Now the problem is the Jinx does outspeed, but Falkner could of course go for the Sucker Punch. Yes, he's gonna go for the Sucker Punch. Oh, it failed though. The Jinx going for the Lovely Kiss. Oh, what a play by Will. Oh my word, can you believe that? So Will, realizing the Honchkrow would actually probably go for the Sucker Punch, preempting it with a non-attacking move so that it would fail, and now putting the Honchkrow to sleep so we can outspeed it and go with the Ice Beam on the next turn to take it down. Absolutely managing one of Falkner's biggest threats to Will's team. That was a brilliant play right there. But now the Swellow coming out. Swellow is a dangerous threat. That U-turn could make it go on forever, really, because of course the burn damage will not happen. Will is going to switch into the Xatu, probably the only thing that can take a U-turn relatively well, we'd imagine. Here comes the U-turn though. Let's see how much it does on the Xatu. Ooh, doing a little less than half. Oh, the Rocky Helmet. Oh, another genius play by Will. Whoa, are you kidding me? Wow, what a play there from Will. Realizing that Swellow is going to go for U-turn, getting the Rocky Helmet up. Holy, what a play, taking down the Swellow. Now the Aerodactyl going for the Rock Slide, and the Xatu avoids the attack. Xatu able to get off a free Psychic. Now what's key here is that Will has actually trapped Falkner into using non-contact moves, but the Rock Slide does have low accuracy, and it misses again. Xatu able to go for the Psychic. That should take, yes, the Aerodactyl going down. Oh man, Aerodactyl missing Rock Slide. Rock Slide is of course a low accuracy move, which Will kind of forced him into. So all of a sudden, all he's got left is his Crobat, which is going to get hurt hugely by that Stealth Rock. And here comes the Acrobatics though, should do a good amount of damage on Xatu and taking it down actually. That was a critical hit, but the Crobat getting hurt by the Rocky Helmet. And now the problem here for Falkner, even if he had hit those Rock Slides, is the Grumpig. We're going to have to see how much this Crobat can do on the Grumpig. A very physically defensive Pokemon on Will's team. Let's see how it takes its Acrobatics. Yes, it is going to have over half health, so that means the Rock Slide wouldn't have done it anyway, because of course, Grumpig finishing the match with a Psychic to take the Crobat down. Will winning the battle 2-0 with his Grumpig and Jinx in the backlog. What a match that was. Absolutely insane. Some stall. We had some hyper offense, some hyper defense. That was an absolute thriller of a match. Will playing really intelligently towards the end, perhaps demonstrating that intellect of the Elite Four. And Will be moving to the next round. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss the next matches. Before we go, I'd like to thank the patrons who are making this tournament possible. If you guys want to help further this series' potential and support it, the link to my Patreon page will be in the description below. That's all for this one. This has been SilphSpectre, and I'll see you guys next time for more True Power.